Eclipse season is here and the world is on fire as the planets Saturn and Neptune make their ingress or their entrance into Aries, the fiery sign in the Vedic field of study known as the battlefield. It seems like the world itself is on fire. There's a lot of news coming out as it relates to America and the world, the people who run the world. And a lot of that has to do with Saturn and Neptune, and of course the eclipses themselves. So I have the one and only Christina, the astrologer. You guys know I work with her on the financial astrology side of things with my newsletter. But these are also topics we've talked about over the past couple of years. And so I thought it made sense to have her come on and share her expertise, what she sees with the eclipses, with the Saturn Neptune conjunction, and how that relates to what's happening in the world today, and what effects this has for you moving forward. All the different 12 signs of the zodiac. We will dive through 12 horoscopes each for each sign if we have time. Stick with us through the end for that. But of course, let's bring Christina on. How are you? How have you been? And what do you think about what's happening in the world today?
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me back. Well, actually, I have to tell you guys, I'm pretty upset and disappointed what's happening in the world, and it's really scary. The stuff that is coming out, it is scare me and scare my family, and most likely it scares you as well. And you know, not easy, but I truly believe we were born here actually, and during this time to help. So, on the other thing, I really want to say it again. If you don't understand my accent, you can put the CC on, and if you still don't understand but you want to know what I'm talking about, you can actually copy the script and you can read it or put that anywhere you want to summarize it for you. But on the other hand, if you hate our face or if you don't like us or whatever, just keep scrolling on, get on with your life, and I wish you all the best. However, okay, I'm here and I think you are here. We both have Sagittarius rising, so we are the teachers. And we are here actually to help you to prevent something. So not necessarily all the prediction we are making going to be 100% coming out, but it's going to give you actually a path, how to get prepared for something but perhaps you want to overcome. So yes, we're going to talk about the eclipse over here. And the eclipse is right now, it's going to move actually the north and the south node middle of the year to Aquarius and Leo. We're going to have a hybrid eclipse right now, hybrid because of the north node, it's still in Pisces and the south node still in Virgo. So that's why it's hybrid, but it's gonna be a solar eclipse in Aquarius, very late degrees, 28 degrees, and it's going to actually square with all the fixed signs. So if you have anything in fixed signs, it might going to be a little bit difficult for you. But it's a solar eclipse, guys. Solar eclipse is it's a fated event. It is, unexpected. It's chaos because of it's ruled by Uranus and Saturn, Aquarius. But also, it is by the end, it's turning out to be positive. So wait 18 months to 2 years. Actually, the eclipse that is going to start right now over here and that it's gonna reveal, it's going to become by 2 years, end of 2 years, to become positive. Okay, it's solar eclipse.
So
So
this
that's.
eclipse this February that's happening, this is going to be a
Mhm.
solar eclipse. It's a hybrid eclipse, and the end results you're saying are going to be positive for people.
Mhm.
Normally, eclipses aren't hybrids, right? So, what is your take on us moving between the two signs and this hybrid eclipse? How does that change things for people or for the world with this season this year in 2026?
Well, you know what? Right now we are Pisces and Virgo, and Pisces is actually secrecy, and actually it's the hidden thing. Aquarius is more like humanitarian. Pisces has a lot of compassion and it's very artsy. It, rules, for example, the media, documentaries, script writing, anything to do with, the singers. I forget, help me over here because right now I don't find the words, but, the Grammys and Hollywood. I wanted to say
Hollywood,
Hollywood
yeah.
and
Film,
secrecy,
yes.
yeah. And you
Art,
can see
music.
what's going on. And going to Aquarius, and we have Pluto over there for 20 years, it's going to be insane because at one point, North Node and Pluto going to conjunct, right? It's around the middle, and not in the middle, actually, at the first 9 degrees, it's going to be, I forget, it's going to be 2027, but I forget exactly the degree, but it's going to be the degree point. So it's changing the purpose and the fate and even genetically a little bit humanity as well. So you will see. But right now we're going to have a lot of humanitarian project and unfortunately, the bad side of the Uranian energy and Aquarian energy, Aquarius could be very detached and also it could be also bypassing emotions and it could bring in a lot of, like surveillance on us because Uranus is surveillance cameras. Uranus is nuclear war. And we're going to have Mars Uranus conjunction on July 4th, 2026. It could be very heavy, but I'm going to mention that later on. But yes, so that is the Uranian energy we're going through, and we are in the age of, Aquarius. We are stepping into from Pisces. So that is going to be more humanitarian and more visible also. Aquarius is the only sign which is actually the symbol is a human body. No other sign in the zodiac, symbolized by humans. So this is going to be a huge change over here. It is like, you can control your ego during this time. And the axis energy is Leo. Leo is leadership, the king over there. And South Node is in Leo. Guess what's happening? And you could already see that during this recent full moon in Leo, because it was opposing Pluto and Icarus, Hybris, and Medusa, and Venus, Mars. So it is the kings are falling, right? So that's what happened during the full moon. And right now, because of the axis energy going to move into Leo and Aquarius, it's gonna be like, no, 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 no. We don't want to have just only one person to lead. We're going to lead as communities, like it's going to be more like the leadership. It's like depend on each other's and not the ego not going to be that important anymore. So that's what you're going to see during this time.
That makes a lot of sense, particularly as you explain how this Aquarian shift is really, it's going to be long staying and persistent. And you really went through a lot of the Aquarian archetypes and how they're going to really transform humanity, humans, Aquarius, and that
Yeah.
transformation happening through Plutonian means, which has a lot to do with destruction and rebuilding. My question for you, because we were just talking about this, earlier, my sun sign is in 0 degrees Aquarius. So a lot of this stuff that's happening or coming out as it relates to the Epstein stuff, like I've seen since I was a kid on the internet. And some of you who watch these videos as well know what I'm talking about. Like we've heard about the pizza stuff and all this. And like, unfortunately, for those of you who don't know, what came out in the files, I'll just go ahead and share my screen here. Let's go ahead and get this translated out of German. Can they turn this into English here? Yeah. So what has been found so far in the files is, yeah. So Jeffrey Epstein has been giving people who are putting waxes on our vegetables and people who create software, Microsoft, who are very interested in vaccines for some reason, right? He's providing escorts, let's say, right, to people like him, right? He's getting banned for using slurs on video game websites. He's on all types of different popular forums that are created for political reasons. You know, his partner was a moderator on popular sites like Reddit. Elon, who swears he wasn't connected to him, was very close contact with him. These files have exposed that George H.W. Bush has sacrificed a. You can read that for yourself, right?
Yes.
It's been confirmed that Trump has been bought and paid for by the same people who were. This was exposed earlier last year, or towards the end of last year, that the CIA's Twitter account is actually based out of the same location, right? That these people see us normal people as cattle, right? So all of the treatment and victims and all that, you know, you're seeing a little bit of the thinking behind some of those thought processes there, you know. FBI reporting on this stuff. I even talked a little bit about, I got into a random Twitter argument like 4 years ago about how his involvement in crypto is very weird, and how a lot of these institutions here are being funded by a lot of these wealthy families here in the Northeast of America, with people like him using that money to get some of America's best and brightest to do a lot of these types of behind the scenes manipulations. And the reason I know that is because I went to school with some of these very smart people, you know. So there are people who have called out a lot of these things and have been called conspiracy theorists for a long time. But you guys are seeing now what the FBI has seen, and with your own eyes. This is the way certain people make money and have made a fortune. This has to do a lot with why we even talk about financial astrology on this channel, is to encourage you guys to take part in the game of owning assets, because if you don't, well, this game is just going to be manipulated against you until you have nothing, right? So part of where, and that's just kind of a short, brief summary for those of you who aren't very well in tune with what's happening right now because you live normal lives and have bills to pay, you know, but that's just a quick summary of what has been exposed about the global elites that run governments all throughout the world. Okay. And so my question for Christina has a lot to do with Saturn conjoining Neptune in 2026, because this is a cycle, and I'd love to hear your explanation about it, that it's a longer term cycle, and it is very uniquely happening in 0 degrees of Aries, which in modern recorded history hasn't happened. You know, we know the universe has existed a lot longer than just a couple thousand years. So the conjunction at 0 degrees Aries has happened before, but not as far as we can document, right? So this is very historic, what's happening. And for those of us who have known that the world kind of operates in this way, it's been very depressing to live in a world like this, to think that such people would never get caught or exposed. However, is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in 2026 the year in which people finally say enough is enough? Is this the year before AI goes crazy and people can just deny or lie or say, well, that's not me in the video, that's AI? Is this happening this year for a reason? You know, is this happening before, you know, the North Node conjoins Pluto and Aquarius, and we can't believe anything, and everyone needs digital IDs? You know, what is your take on this? Are people really going to be held accountable in 2026? And how are you seeing this in relation to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction?
Definitely, it's going to start something, and I'm going to show some chart for you. But you know, whenever Saturn Neptune conjuncted, it comes together every 34 years, right? But as you said, it's happening at the third sign of the zodiac on 0 degree, very karmic. It's a shift for humanity, it's shift for the collective, and it's going to change everything around us. Aries rules the head and Aries rules the eyes as well. Obviously, Saturn and Neptune over there want to create some kind of illusion and fog, and would like to actually say whatever you see, you can believe in it because Neptune is there, it's a lie, it's AI, or whatever they're going to do. That's why we're going new jobs, like because of Pluto is in Aquarius, and we're going to have also Eclipse in Aquarius, which is technology. We're gonna have forensic, actually, AI forensic, who going to analyze, okay, which one is real and which one is not real, because really soon, within a year, we're not going to be able to make a difference. Right now, my eyes are trained, actually, which one is AI and which one is not. It's very easy. My husband is a photographer. My son does movie and film. So obviously they teach me which one, and right away, oh my God, mom, you cannot believe this and that. So they did teach me. So they're amazing in that. But soon it's going extremely well trained, like we won't be necessarily. So that's why those new jobs are coming up. Okay, so Saturn Neptune conjunction. Many times Stalin died. It was end of Russian Empire. We did have slavery ended during Saturn Neptune conjunction. So if you're going back historically and checking the historical parallel, we had a lot of gun control over there. So obviously, we're going to experience this. And because of slavery was ending also, and we had the dictator's death also during this time, we will actually see some kind of, um, falling out from power, people falling out from power. And actually, I'm going to show you a few charts over here who going to go and their career right now with Saturn Neptune conjunction. But Saturn Neptune conjunction also war on religious, or start a religious war, guys. And what is behind the Epstein fire? Those kind of elite was actually and still, bow to the satanic god, which is Baal. And I'm going to came up even the asteroids. I found some asteroids I want to show you guys. So yes, there it's going to be right now, Saturn going to put boundaries and actually going to say that to Neptune, you cannot create any more lies and fog. I'm here, Saturn is there to kick you in the butt, Neptune, because of, you were lying, you were dishonest. You could use your power for something fantastic. Neptune is Hollywood, is film, movie, media. You could create it beautiful arts, but what did you do? You were raping children. You were eating them. That's the claim in the fire. And can you believe that? Like, we still don't have 3 million of fire never gonna be released, and it was only 6 million released. 3 million out from the sick was taken next day. Thanks God, a group of attorneys, media's touch, they downloaded everything right away, and we have some information. But out from the fires, over half of it is blacked out. So I think also for our own sake, when I went through and I got very upset, my child can't sleep, and because it's so scary, because we wouldn't be able to comprehend the evil behind. I wouldn't even call them humans. These are not humans. These are demons. And this is terrible. But Saturn Neptune over here is going to create some kind of let's kick them, and let's bring some kind of let's fight against them. Saturn Neptune conjunction is always civil war. It's always actually fighting for your rights. Saturn Neptune conjunction also social welfare, and also creating some kind of social democratic state as well in astrology. Don't boo me over here, that's what it is, okay? It is giving some kind of nets for the underprivileged that was pushed on the edge, and finally it could actually create lesser crimes.
Are you still there, or are you frozen on my end? Yeah.
Democracy is not equal with socialism, guys. You have to understand ideology. Don't just repeat propaganda. I have enough from that. It is actually allowing, capitalism, and allowing the growth of the country, and financial assets for yourself, and save your money. But it also helps the underprivileged, which is, lessen the crimes. Okay. So yes, it will actually kick them in the butt.
Yeah, it's very very interesting when you think about how Saturn and Neptune are also making this conjunction in the sign of Aries after leaving Pisces, because Neptune in Pisces is its strength, but Neptune is also very illusory. So it could be said or interpreted that the illusions that these people were maintaining were working very well in Pisces, that we were in a dream state as a society to some of these things, and to some people who were held as maybe even considered as compassionate
Yeah.
people, right? But one of the things, particularly if any of you have ever lived through this, for those of and this is more of a, you would have to know this astrologically. If you've ever had a planet in your progressed chart move from Pisces to Aries, you might understand a little bit about what Christina has just said there, because moving from Pisces, which is very compassionate, caring, and almost passive, like willing to be a victim. Like one of the
Yeah.
teachers we've had, right, calls it a victim triad, right? Where you're either the victim, the savior, or whatever the other piece is, martyr or
Martyr,
something like that.
martyr. Yeah.
Yeah, where Pisces can really get caught up in playing one of those roles where you're saving somebody, or you're the one that has to be saved, or you're dying for something, or sacrificing yourself for something. And so there can be a lot of compassion and just, oh, this is just how these people are, or this is just how it is, or I see the higher qualities in so and so, or whatever the case might be. And then that planet progresses into Aries, and then the individuality and fire can come back. And it's just like, I'm not going to be treated that way anymore. Don't talk to me like this, or I'm going to go on my own path or start my own thing. And as astrologers, you and I have seen this in people's charts over and over again from the progress side of things. And now that we have these huge planets doing the same thing, Neptune now getting into more generational 14-year transits, you know, what you're saying there makes a lot of sense, that this could be a whole new way in terms of looking and understanding these so-called elites or how people manage things, and maybe not wanting powerful kings, queens, rulers to have this perceived level of power. Where I think we need to be careful, though, is this idea that, and some of this is pushed through the propaganda too, is that AI or technology can be the god or the replacement that saves us from the evil humans, that saves us from the Epsteins of the world. Is we just need code, or we just need computers to do it, which are still man-made. Okay, Aquarius is it's a human sign. All the things related to Aquarius have to relate to human beings. So AI, technology, all of it, at the end of the day, is to serve the human being. It's not a god. It's not something to be worshipped. All of it. If it has any value at all, it's because human consciousness is interpreting, or it's speaking back to us, right? That doesn't mean it's sentient. That just means we understand it, or it's interpretable through our senses. So I think that's a very good point that you made there, and I think people would be very excited to see some of the charts that you have that talk a little bit about who maybe might not be continuing moving forward, who might be getting exposed, and even the charts you have related to the eclipses, what that means for the world and for the rest of us, our zodiacs and our 12 signs.
And I will do all of it. First of all, I just have to say a little bit more over here. You know, when Saturn Neptune conjuncted, we also had the Spanish flu, so we have to actually expect another kind of pandemic coming. But because of Saturn going to be in fall, and Saturn is the leader and government, they're not going to be able actually to control us, right, with this pandemic kind of whatever it's coming. And it's going to affect either the brain or the eye. So it could be meningitis, mad cow disease, some kind of pink eye, something to relate it is that. But also the other thing what I wanted to say, Neptune in Pisces, guys, also illusion, delusion, and dissolve into the lie, because you don't know reality, because Neptune is addiction and Neptune is drugs and alcohol. During this period when Neptune was in Pisces, it was in rulership, right? And yes, a beautiful music, documentaries, movies, art was coming out. But also people were actually, a lot of people are numbing themselves. Neptune is numbing yourself and self-sabotaging behavior in Pisces as well. So drug uses were really high, overdose were really high during this time, especially when Saturn Neptune conjuncted the end of Pisces in karmic degrees, then
Mm.
we had a very high rate of, overdoses. So that one it is, yes. And
So do
definitely,
you think people won't be doing drugs as much anymore? I mean, you can even see the American current administration even kind of like attacking this huge healthcare conglomerate that's made all this money, even to some degrees. You think like people in the West will kind of clean up in terms of their drug use? Because on the other hand, like what you're saying, we have the North Node conjoining Pluto in Aquarius, and that talks to almost some kind of viral spread of something throughout the air, right? And there's all this money behind. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's all this money behind pills and all this money behind cancer research and AI in terms of, things that have nano components to them. You guys know, right? So like, are you seeing, I guess, how do you look at that? Do you look at that as more of like less drug usage, or do you look at that as more of like people are becoming more aware of the poisons and are trying to clean things up with?
more aware. And
Mhm.
actually, Aries likes to move and likes activity. So the self-sabotaging behavior, that kind of illusion, delusion, but we had in Pisces and Piscean energy, let's numb ourselves because we cannot take reality. Aries going to fight. Aries going to fight against, like doesn't want the Saturnian control over there. And also Aries, because Saturn is in fall over there, and Aries going to say, you know what, if you have anger toward to yourself or suppressed anger because of your childhood, let's go and work out. Let's go instead of for a bike ride or running or help someone or go boxing, to allow that kind of anger outlet in something else and not to drink yourself to death or using drugs. So I do believe actually Neptune and Saturn is very frustrated. It's in fall, but somehow it's weakened. So, and Neptune also weakened a fire sign. So it will be like, okay, let's use this energy for something like capoeira. Saturn Neptune over here, it's more like not very fast kind of sport, but more like doing Tai Chi working and Pilates or hot yoga or things like that. But somehow channel your energy different way besides drinking and using drugs or self-sabotaging behavior.
Yeah. They're like getting into like pottery or like stone making or
Yes,
even
Saturn
painting,
is there.
even,
Yeah,
artistic
pottery.
things with the
Yeah.
hands. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. The
Hmm.
horseback riding,
Yeah.
Neptune could be horse, Saturn
Hmm.
is like, something with, okay, or just actually go to the farm and just clean the horses, something regular, but
Hmm.
has discipline, but you're doing that, but not necessarily fast movement there. But
Yeah.
yes, it's going to. So, okay, let me show some chart for you guys over here because you wanted to hear about Saturn, Neptune, and you wanted to hear about the eclipse. So I'm going to combine the two, and after I'm going to start to talk about the 12 signs. I have my little things over here. So
Hmm.
I'm going to actually somehow, how do you think? Should we start with Trumpy?
Yeah. Yeah. You have some charts you want to go through. Let's do that.
Yes, I would like to start with Donald Trump. And actually, only for Donald Trump, I'm going to show the progress chart as well, guys. It's very important. And do
Mm.
you remember, guys, when I was the first online who predicted, I was talking to some here, and when I said, oh, Trump going to be shot somehow around the head,
Hmm.
on July 7th, when Uranus Mars going to conjunct, because,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to show a few things over here, and that is Trump's chart, and here it is the share. Okay, Christy, how do you do that? Share this, and do you see?
I do. Yep.
Okay, all right, so everybody can see that. Okay, that is the transit chart. Oh, but that is July 20. Oh, because I know what I did. So let me do the chart selection. Actually, I was checking Ivana Trump's death
Mm,
just recently, so that's why it's that date.
yeah.
But I love investigative astrology. Oh my God, I am so obsessed with it. And by the way, you have to know, I'm gonna show Bitcoin also, guys, because do you see that, Sama? So just we have
I
to make
do.
see.
Yep.
Because you do you know right now in the Epstein file we have that also Bitcoin is because Epstein was or is still, who knows, the puppet
Hmm.
of Rothschilds. He was working for Rothschilds, and actually in some
Yep.
of the file he
Hmm.
says, "I don't like Israel, if you believe it or not." For Deepak Chopra, I was reading the emails between them and said, I don't want to meet you in Israel, let's meet in France or whatever,
Hmm.
because whatever, but he definitely is Mossad, and I don't believe he died, but I'm going to show you a few things over here. So here is transit chart for the eclipse. You guys have to understand something. In medical astrology, when Sun, North Node, and Uranus conjunct, that is a neurological issue in the brain. So that is also usually something to happen, you know, a stroke and your speech, because it's in Gemini for him, the speech going to get blurred, you know, like slurred, or he will have a facial stroke or something like that when Uranus coming into the 11th house. And Uranus was already here from July 7th till November 7th last year, and he did have actually something to happen with his face over there. It was on social media all over. So
Hmm.
it could come back. But look at this chart. I put in Ivanka, Melania, I put everybody over here. But
Can you
look
move
at
your
it.
mouse a little bit so we could see the Sagittarius? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, and
Okay.
then just scroll down. Just perfect. Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Hmm.
So here he has Pluto actually in 10 degrees, right?
Hmm.
And he has a Pluto opposition.
Hmm.
Asteroid Epstein, it's in Aquarius for him, and Pluto on it,
Hmm.
opposing to the Ivanka asteroid and also Pluto over here, right?
Hmm.
He has the midheaven at 24 degrees, Taurus, Uranus is on it, and Algol on it, right?
So just
And
a
I,
quick question or quick point. Sorry to interrupt. If so, it looks like Pluto is on 4 degrees here. Is that right?
yes, it's from 4 degrees.
So when Pluto was at about 3 degrees, it was conjoined Epstein on his chart. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Any idea what date that was? I know it had to be sometime last year, right, or something like that, or maybe not.
Not necessarily. It could be, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
yes, it could be end of around December,
Mm-hmm.
and October, November, December. That was the time when it was like
Yeah.
actually, you
So
know,
so
Libra.
just yeah, just a quick point of just how very literal astrology can work. As Pluto was approaching 3rd degrees of Aquarius in his chart, this Epstein thing continued to become more and more of a problem for Trump, right? So that's just the very literal nature of how astrology is working, right? And so we can see how this has conjoined, and now it's become a large problem now that's bubbled up on the stage for him, really since Pluto has been around 3 degrees of Aquarius in his chart. I just thought that that was something to call out for people who are newer to astrology or just curious about how transits work, right? Please keep going.
Okay, so here it is. So the eclipse going to actually happen for him in the seventh house, right? It's going to be very late degrees, and it's going to be on his part of fortune. That is the open enemies over here. Okay, guys? And the eclipse is going to square with his midheaven and Uranus. And the eclipse ruler, Uranus, the modern ruler, it's in fall. It's in fall in Taurus, okay? And let me show you quickly something, guys. Do you see the new chart, Sama?
Yes.
Okay, so that is his progress chart. Progress Israel is on his midheaven for a long time, even when he was shot in his ears.
Hmm.
Okay, it's squared with the ascendant and Mars over here. Okay,
Hmm.
And I just wanted to show also progress moon is opposing the midheaven, okay?
So
And
in simple language, an astrologer, I'm not saying you are, but somebody might interpret that to mean that during the times that Trump was getting shot, Israel was publicly involved in this public shooting, perhaps, and the square to the ascendant means that they probably had something to do with the challenge to the physical body of Donald throughout last year. The opposition then to the moon, we're interpreting that, and this is from, where's the moon? The moon is in the 4th to the 10th, and this is in Scorpio, right? Now bringing in Taurus. So there's financial things, there's sexual things, secretive things, things related to family, right? These are all things, and we're not accusing anybody of everything, but you guys saw the files, right? You guys can see how the charts and the files are pretty much saying very similar, if not the same things, right?
yeah, I also want to just point out he has the progress Saturn and progress midheaven on Pluto,
Mm-hmm.
opposing transit Pluto and Epstein, and the progress ascendant very early degree in Scorpio on Baal. You know, we were talking about that, but the oligarchy or the elite is, admiring or praying for, that is the demon itself. So I just brought in Ball as well over here. But look at this chart. I went back to the transit chart. I just wanted to show the progress chart for him so we
Mm-hmm.
understand where is the progress moon, where is the progress ascendant, and the
Mm-hmm.
progress midheaven. So the
Mm-hmm.
progress midheaven is on Pluto, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Opposing Epstein and Pluto. So that is one confirmation over here for falling from power. The other one is the progress moon over here in Scorpio, opposing the midheaven transit
Mm-hmm.
Uranus on Algol and
Mm-hmm.
progress Israel. But
Yeah.
look at these guys, Melania is in the 12th house, which could be hospital, it could be prison,
Mm-hmm.
squaring with Saturn Neptune, okay? Saturn Neptune in the ninth house, publicity and court case justice. So he is sued by Michael. Oh, I forget the autobiographer of Donald Trump's. But they're suing each other's, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy is not holding back. He's like, okay, I'm going to take you to court, and Melania is keep running away. But this
Mm-hmm.
Neptune Saturn over here could bring some kind of justice into this family through Melania first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because it's squaring to her, but definitely because of ninth house also could representing, documentaries, movies,
Mm-hmm.
social media, and Neptune definitely is documentary, and Saturn over there. That was a huge disaster of her documentary. Nobody want to see it. Nobody want to see, someone who was involved with sex trafficking and eating children or whatever was there, whatever was her. But she was really good friend with Ghislaine. She was the all the documents and all the emails between them. Love you, and like this is crazy. So yes, that is a square between Melania and Neptune Saturn. On the
Mm-hmm.
other one is you saw the other pictures, Ivanka
Mm-hmm.
is opposing Epstein Pluto on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I probably you've seen the newest pictures right now, Melania's and Ivanka's Trump face is actually shaded, but we have the original pictures. Those attorneys, 50 attorneys have everything and they keep posting up. But look at that asteroid lie is conjunct the midheaven of Trump, right? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, and then as you see, like Israel, it's in his 12th house, secrecy,
Yeah. Yeah.
over there, behind the scene. Who is controlling behind the scene? It's obvious, and everybody knows it right now. People are not stupid, and most of the people are awakened right now. So, but if you can see that. Because we are actually, if somebody is concerned about his health or not, but Uranus over here still creating a square here, and because of the eclipse going to oppose his ascendant and square his midheaven, it's the fall of a leader. It could be two things. It could be neurological event, or because of it squaring exactly the same point when Uranus Mars was conjuncting when he was shot on the midheaven, right? Um, and because of the eclipse ruler is Uranus, and it's going to re-square with or square with the same point when Uranus Mars was there. So it could happen like an other shot over there, but it could be neurological event as well. It could be something with airplane, and I'm gonna say why airplane. Because JD Vance also has a very similar chart,
Okay.
and it could be something attacked both of them the same time somehow, or an event, but yeah. Let's see actually the
This
American.
is just even looking at this, right? So, like, the 10th house ruled by Venus, transit Venus is in his eighth, right? And then you have Jupiter ruling the eighth. That's also transiting the 12th, not too far from Israel, right?
Mhm.
So, like the document we saw says he's compromised by these people. And like you're saying, if something happens to him, I mean, we kind of know who it would be by. And Uranus is also coming on this 29th degree, squaring the ascendant, really probably for the last time ever, right? Because he's going to have his Uranus return, which is really talking about an old man,
Mhm.
So this could really be some of the last years we're really seeing him on the world stage at this height, so to speak. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, but I don't really think Uranus return, he gonna have it in around 3 years when it's gonna be exact on. But
Mm-hmm.
Uranus Mars going to conjunct for him July 4th over here. And his
Mm-hmm.
birthday is actually June 14th. So I do believe, y- you know, Uranus gonna be already there in that house, in the 11th house. That is, he's falling from grace. He's losing supporters. 11th house is your supporters, your VIP clients and people. And that is actually the DOG also, but not in his chart, but definitely something to do with court. And
Yeah.
Uranus Mars actually, when in July, could find something for him with the court system, which is like, okay, we can actually process or proceed and put him in jail. But I don't think he will go to jail because I don't think
I
he,
don't. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think. Okay. So no, it's more likely there could be some kind of other event,
Yeah.
neurological or some kind of,
Hmm.
because we have exactly the squaring over here with the eclipse. So yes.
Yeah. I think yeah, more so this time period than even when Uranus is in Gemini fully. I think this time period, this month and next month will be quite telling for him. We'll see what happens.
And open enemies, Sama.
Hmm.
And open enemies is not what we think is open enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's opposing the Trump is, yeah, he's done. Okay, do you want to see not DeSantis? Why do we want to see DeSantis? Vance, okay, I just going to show Vance just for a second, guys,
Hmm.
because he's Peter Thiel's puppet, right? And I'm gonna show
Hmm.
Peter Thiel also for you guys. But he also have a 27 degrees ascendant and midheaven squares
Ah,
over here.
ah,
Uranus is there, eclipse is squaring
ah,
with them. Hmm?
yeah.
He has Mars in 22 degrees, and the kill degree. I don't agree with everything with Nikola. I love Nikola Stojanovic. I just adored him. But I think the 22 degrees, kill degree, only I did my research and it's only in fixed signs. So anything in Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Leo. And he has Mars actually in 22 degrees on his homeland. It's going to square the ascendant. It is squaring with the eclipse and the midheaven. It's opposing. So he's also in jeopardy. I just wanted to show that for you guys. But you look at the chart, you can take a pictures and you can analyze that on your own, guys. Okay. So for example, he has asteroid lie by transit right now in the eighth house. And it is, eighth house is, like loss of integrity, for example, and cartel and mafia and whatever. So uh, he is losing his integrity, definitely. Oh, you know what I wanted to say? Erica, asteroid Erica. Oh, it's on his son. Look at that. Because, they were having this kind of, having her hand in his hair after
Hmm.
Charlie died. And, he had his hand on her hip, very awkward. And look at
Hmm.
the asteroid Erica actually on his son over here. So that is funny
Yeah.
because it could be like, Leo like seduction, and it could be also something to do with, and it's opposed to power play. It is okay. All right.
Hmm.
So, all right. Let's see. So,
Hmm.
do you want to see the US?
Sure. Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. So, okay. And you just gonna cut this up for guys, we're going to
Yeah,
cut
yeah, yeah.
this, yeah, for
Keep
multiple,
going.
but we just want to
Keep
keep
going.
going over here. And let me see, where is the United States? I think I put it like America. How did I put it in?
There you go.
America.
America.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so we're going to have, yes, the US has the Sagittarius ascendant, right? And
Hmm.
Saturn Neptune is going to oppose in fifth house. And it is, like anything to do with um, risking, take risk. And, it could be, and it is opposing the midheaven in 1 degree for the US. Wow, okay. And it is in Libra. So guess what, guys? This is going to bring in like the DOJ or Pam Bondi, and anything to do. Neptune is border patrol, Saturn is patrolling, Neptune is border. So somebody going to go. So Christinom and Pam Bondi might going to have to resign. So it's going to create some kind of very, very strong contrast over here, and they might have to resign over here. But definitely the justice system, we will, or they're going to fire a lot of judge, who is not willing to play by their rules. But yeah, but on the other hand, let me see. So the North Node, it's in 6 degrees in Leo. Okay. Oh, okay. No, but it's not going to square with the eclipse. By energy, it will, but it's not going to square. Oh, the Aquarius moon. US has the moon, the public sentiment, and the public itself, the general people, the regular people, just like you and me, and or followers over here or subscribers who are watching, the eclipse gonna be over there. But in this case, I believe because of it is trining with asteroid Epstein, actually in the seventh house, open enemies. So I believe the people going to learn Gemini is the truth about Epstein. It's going to be revealed, and
Yeah.
it's gonna change the public sentiment forever, forever. So
Yeah.
that's gonna happen over there. Yeah,
And for the
for the
good,
US.
for the
Yeah,
better too. Yeah,
yeah,
this
it's for the
is
better.
because this eclipse is it on it's on 28 degrees, right?
Yes, it's on the
Yeah.
moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on 28 degrees. Yeah.
So this story is not going away, guys. This
No.
is part of the eclipse. It's baked into the eclipse and it's trining America and also America's enemies, But yeah,
And
it's about time that we really address this globally.
and do you see Semi-Uranus in the sixth house? Sixth house is or military defense and healthcare
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
well. So it's
Hmm.
also the health insurances as well, not just the
Hmm.
eighth house. Eighth house also insurance, right?
Hmm.
but also sixth house also representing healthcare and insurance, especially paid by, the employer, kind of, or private insurances, for example. And because of
Mm,
the eclipse gonna happen on the moon, we're going to learn about how insurances are scams, and we're
mm,
going to learn about who stole a lot of money, insurance companies or CEOs or things like that. And
mhm.
quite frankly, it could bring in some kind of different kind of justice for that guy who shot the CEO,
Mm,
like
mm.
because of something going to be revealed by the insurance company, or also we're going to learn a lot more about American defense system and military because Uranus over there in Algol. So
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of veterans gonna come forward and going to say, like, okay, we are homelesses or we are having not postpartum because that's after birth. How do you PTSD
mm,
because of they made us to do this and that. So a lot of people
sure.
going to come through, and we're gonna see clearly what's going on. It could also mean Saturn Neptune conjunction, guys. It could be a forced draw to military for young children, by the way.
That's certainly what's happening in Europe
Yeah, it's a
already.
first draw.
Yeah.
But because for America, it's going to happen actually like Uranus square with the moon, with the public. That's the mothers. The mothers are not allowing their children to fight for someone who is actually powerful and let our children to die for, some rich oligarchy. So it is almost like a second Vietnam. What was that? The hippie movement of,
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
are not going to war kind of
That was Vietnam. Yeah.
rebel. Yes. So that's the US over here. Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Yes, but you see, Jupiter still going on Israel over here. So it is also Jupiter, it's money. So unfortunately, it will still be a lot of money provided for the Israeli, whatever they use it for. I don't even want to say it, but you guys know.
Looks like the Israel asteroid is about to conjoin the asteroid Lie in America's eighth house.
Yes.
What's your
Yes.
take on that?
Yeah, well, there is a lot of, obviously, everything is propaganda, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was actually attacked because I don't consider myself, I converted to Buddhism, all right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't matter if my grandparents were Jews, okay? I converted myself to Buddhism and I don't step on an ant because I save not cockroaches or snakes, but I save everything else. All right. And when I
And
just
even to be clear, because unfortunately this does need to be said, there are plenty of Jewish people, some of whom live in Israel, that are against all of this. So
yes,
let's not be idiots about what's
yes,
happening here. Okay.
let's not be
Okay.
idiots,
Yeah.
and you have to understand there is also a lot of Rastafari who like sings about the road to Zion, but there is also Ethiopian Jews, but they are actually not really expected in Israel because they are racist. Did you see the Epstein file? They said actually disgustingly like, okay, we only need white girls, don't bring the black N word
Hmm.
because they are racist and they are not real Jews anyway. But okay,
That
but
too. Yeah.
that too, and
Yeah.
they just pedophile island. But the point is over here, that I have a lot of Israeli friends. Oh my God, I have a lot of Palestinian friends. I love them all. Uh, but as I said, yeah, I've been attacked, reposted. Norman and Mate. Oh my God, I forgot their name. Oh, Gabor Mate. And I
Mhm.
love them.
Mhm.
And then I was called like, you are a self-hatred Jew. And I was like, I don't consider myself because I'm a Buddhist. What about that? You are an anti-Semite. I was like, all right, okay. So that's what it is. They're going to use propaganda and lie. So that's my intake on this. But we're still going to provide, huge amount of sum of money, billions of dollars.
Hmm.
You know what is really funny? Israel actually has free healthcare, dental, college, university, everything. Why our
Hmm.
children over here, more than 10 million goes to bed, actually, starving and without food. The general American kids are going hungry to sleep. So, okay, put that on. But so that is America over here. They are actually, and
That's
not just
the real
America.
world, as they call it.
Yeah. But Saturn Neptune actually some conjunction also. It is the Western empires are collapsing, and after
Oh yeah.
250
Hmm.
years, 250 years, most of the empires collapse. So if you go back to historically, that was the turning point always around 250 years, and that's what's
Yeah.
happening. And it's not just America. And by the way, don't even dare to say I'm anti-American or I'm anti-Semite, because that's not true. I love America, especially I love. Yeah, I really do love America. So I
Mhm.
don't want America to fail. I want it to thrive and people to be happy and live in peace. So that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Some of the brainwashing is that if you speak to be critical or criticize your home country, in this case, America for us, that you're anti-government or anti this or that, or all these other negative labels that will get thrown on you. And hopefully, if you're still watching with us at this point, you're probably someone smarter than to
Mm,
fall for such types of thinking, you know? It's perfectly fine to have some critique of a place you live in. Right? We are American citizens, and we're entitled to our opinions by law, right?
I
So,
love.
there's
Yeah.
no, it's okay to have things you don't like about a place you live. It's totally fine. Doesn't mean that we're against this or that or any of the labels you might want to put on us. We are simply using the symbolism of the charts to understand where we are at cyclically with what's happening. That's all that's happening here. There's both of us, as far as I know, I'm sure you'll agree. We're centrist. We don't claim Republican this or Democrat that. And hopefully the emails have explained to some of you guys why both sides are manipulated against us by people who hang out with people like Epstein. So what's
You
really
know,
the point of such labels, right? Like let's move on and grow up, right?
yeah. Let's grow up. And you know what? You have to understand that is the same bird. So the wingis belong from the same bird.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Hmm.
They wanted to divide us by color, by religion, by who is Democratic or who is Republican. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter. You have to be a decent human people with values and morals and integrity. That's the most important.
Yeah.
And do something good to someone every single time. Okay, here is Israel. I'm just gonna show a few things over here for you guys. So Saturn Neptune is the open enemy over here. It's going to conjunct for them to the open enemy. Uranus is still on Epstein, okay, eighth house, and on the Sun, and it's going to square actually the solar eclipse, and it's going to oppose the Mars and Israel conjunction in the 11th house. 11th house are VIP people, and it's judge system also. So there could be actually, because of Uranus is on the Sun, it could be like maybe Netanyahu going to get captured, accidentally somehow, and it could go to the court finally, something like that for, what he is doing during the years. But did you see the interview with him in 2009 when he said we need Greenland? We have to tell the Western world we need Greenland because of there is a lot of minerals and oil underneath, and it would be the best destination to actually divide the Europe and America. And there is actually out. It's leaked out, but there is something over there. Just check Google. By the way, look at that, guys. I also wanted to show that for you guys. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's better.
Israel has a Libra ascendant and Saturn going to oppose it in 2 years. But
Mm.
after that, in 3 years, 2029 actually, Saturn gonna be on the Sun and North Node. Between this, in the midpoint of the North Node and Sun, and it's going to square with Pluto and Saturn over here. So in 2029, actually, we're going to have a major change over there, and it's going to be the downfall of this state. Because what they are doing right now, they will be able to continue for a while, but in 4 years, it's going to most likely, you know, end their state.
Hmm. What
Yes.
what does that look like? What do you?
So at this moment, right now, the eclipse gonna be on Palestine, and it's squaring with the eighth house of the Sun and Uranus over there, Epstein, right? So it is like and Palestine has a very bad chart right now, unfortunately. But I checked it numerologically, and they still have like a few more years going on with this kind of massacre and ethnic cleansing, but somehow Palestine will come back. And then I don't know if it's going to be just like, the sun is the vitality of the country, North Node is the purpose and the mission of the country, and it's squaring with Saturn Pluto in Leo. So obviously they need to have, influential people, and the 11th house is all VIP and oligarchy in astrology. So they needed to have all the VIP oligarchy on their side. But when Saturn gonna go over there, it's going to seize that opportunity for them. So either they're not necessarily going to totally end the state, but everything around them going to change, and it could become the two-state solution by the time, or with these recent things that is coming out from Epstein file, and then we're going to see the truth. It's gonna be actually out in public, everything. Oh, by the way, George just told me right now, accidentally they provided Epstein password to the emails and right now the young hackers are on it, and everybody is taking out the emails. So hopefully those young
We
hackers will
can't.
be able
You can
to,
get everything. Yeah.
yes, can get all the 9 million papers, and then people, even if they want to deny, then we
Hmm.
cannot help you. If you still
Yeah.
support this, then
Hmm.
either you are dumb as
Yeah.
F, or
Hmm.
you just evil, and that's it. So I can't even say anything else right now. But
Man, it's been really weird to see. I mean, so-called celebrities or famous people or with big followings. We all know a lot of them. Some of them can be quite weird, but it's been really interesting to see a lot of them changing their tune or even saying that some of this stuff is cool, or it's just a very weird time to be alive and to see this stuff kind of coming out. And I think that there will, like you're saying, and like we're seeing, and like we've seen with the many charts you've shared, a collective acknowledgement and an uprising, maybe not in everyone, but of like a serious rethinking about what has happened and why the country is changed and deteriorated so much. You even talked about Pluto a little bit too, right? Which conjoined in Capricorn a couple of years ago in 2022, which really
Mhm.
sparked a lot of this Ukraine stuff, which the emails revealed, was a Jeffrey Epstein idea. Everything comes, it's like all roads lead back to Israel and the Mossad and this character, right? So
You
there's a
see the
lot of,
chart over here by I'm so sorry. Look at that.
no, go ahead.
I just wanted to show that I
Hmm.
didn't realize that, because sometimes I'm analyzing the chart so long, and
Hmm.
look at the ascendant and Donald
Yeah, they're
of
together.
Israel. is actually conjunct, and look at that, it's squaring with the midheaven Jupiter in exaltation, going to come, like middle of the year over here, and
Hmm.
squaring with the ascendant and Donald over here. So I believe if Donald Trump going to get weakened, so that's why actually Israel also going to get weakened by that. You see?
Hmm.
So that could be actually that.
Yeah.
Okay, I just went, and how interesting. Erica and Melania is in Scorpio in the second house.
House
Erica
of
for
resources.
sex trafficking and resources, because
House of family and resources, right?
Mhm.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
House
let's
of
move
power.
forward. Do we want Natini, Milakovsky and Russia?
I mean, you could take a look at his chart. I don't even, this is where I go back to like, is anything gonna happen type of the thinking with him, because like his name didn't come up at all in these files, which is like, oh, really?
Yeah,
So,
it came
like
up. It came
it
up.
did? Okay, all
Yes,
right,
somehow
good.
it
Okay,
did.
good. Okay,
Yeah,
good. Because
it did.
because when I looked a couple of days ago, I think people were saying that where is his name? Where's BB? You can't find him anywhere.
Yeah,
So
BB has, yeah.
if that's shifted now, like you said, there's the password and people are looking into this. This kind of goes into that as we get closer to that conjunction during this eclipse season. It's going to be a very interesting month in February for sure. Very
Yeah, it
interesting
will
month.
be. It will be. And, actually, I saw Putin right now. I mean, I'm not saying Putin is a saint. He is a dictator, guys. Okay. But at least he is so against pedophile. And, he is castrating everyone who is pedophile in the country. And he just said, you see, Western world is ruled by, like people who are raping and eating babies. So this is terrible, and I don't even want to say, the term on that over there, but yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible what's going on here, and Elon Musk is in the fire also, guys, as you know.
Surprise,
So
surprise.
surprise, surprise, the eighth house, the eclipse gonna happen in his eighth house, and it is actually opposing asteroid truth for him, and it's squaring with his Jupiter. Obviously, his children is going to turn against him and everybody, who he think was family. But Scorpio Jupiter over there taking risk, and he is also falling from grace here. And Saturn Neptune, it's in his 10th house. I think Elon Musk will have to get off from Tesla CEO really soon, because otherwise Tesla would go down, because right now the CYB, the Chinese EV, electric vehicle, is selling 600,000 more than Tesla. And they're using smaller batteries. It's easier and it's going for longer than the Tesla batteries, right?
Yeah.
And I think he will have to sign off from CEO, because he's just. I'm really, wondering how is he going to appear in Joe Rogan show right now? How Joe Rogan try to manipulate this? Joe Rogan name was in the Epstein file, by the way. I just read it today.
And about what? What did they
I
say
don't.
about Joe?
I going to do more research on it, but I
Okay.
saw the name coming up and I was like, what? No, I don't want that. But, somehow they put his name in it. Maybe they just wanted to invite him and he didn't. But yeah,
Cool.
so that's over here. So he
Yeah, so
has.
Elon's gonna have the South Node moving through his second house, which is
Mm-hmm,
very interesting. He's gonna have a nodal return in the eighth, which is
mm-hmm,
interesting, ruled by Saturn. Whereas Saturn is in the 12th house of losses,
yeah.
and Uranus is gonna be there. So that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm,
So all of that is agreeing with what Christina's saying here about he might have to step down or let go of something, right?
mm-hmm,
And why this is very interesting on the larger scheme of things is this conjunction and what I've been talking about with where the American economy is. Eclipses in Aquarius and Leo aren't generally great when they happen every 18 years for the American economy. Last time was 2008. great financial crash. So if America's going to run into a bunch of financial issues, and Elon runs one of America's darling tech companies, you can see how charts tell us multiple stories about what's happening to both individuals, countries, the globe, and why Christina and I look at all these different charts to make the predictions we're making. We're not God. Again, we don't have any political affiliation with any stance, but we layer this stuff up to make the most likely predictions or conclusions that are possible by putting all these charts together. So we're going to keep going, but hopefully, guys, you really appreciate the work that she's done and continues to do by putting together this story, you know, and with the analysis that we do, right? If the American economy is likely to suffer, you know, and Elon has one of those big companies, and we're seeing a trend here, which the South Node will move through his second house. And she talked a lot about some of the losses or stepping down he might have to do, which we've seen all kinds of CEOs associated to Epstein who admit it having to do that, right? It'll be very interesting to see what happens this year. Is he going to come out on Joe Rogan and make a statement that makes people forgive him? Or is the Saturn Neptune conjunction going to be so unforgiving to these people who have gotten away with this for so long that the jig is up and we see him stepping down? And some of you who own Tesla stock, that's something you guys might want to think about because that speaks a lot for that big stock, right? And the multiple hundreds of dollars. So something for you guys to think about.
Lot of drugs. And Saturn could be also both as well, you know, especially in the 12th house of ocean. And he wanted to go to party on the island or on the boats I'm close to. So you definitely a lot of secret comes out, and he also will be taxed, and he's losing money over here. But Uranus in the 12th house, it could be mental illness, or he could go really. I think he has some chips in his brain already planted. You know, that's why he's off sometimes, not just the drugs he uses, but you know, anyway, I don't think so. Some things are unforgettable and unforgivable, guys.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna forget, and we're not gonna forgive this as well, just so you know. So I'm not going to Larry Fling but you know, it will be another time. I want to do Venezuela a little bit over here. I did check Maduro like 18 months ago with my friend who is Venezuelan on her,
Okay.
and I said he will be captured. So 18 months ago, I had a huge show. We can put that underneath here on this. When I actually predicted Maduro gonna be done and captured. Here, this is Venezuela or Maduro? No, this is Venezuela.
It's
So
Venezuela.
the eclipse is in the fourth house, guys. It's a solar eclipse. It is an opposition party. The fourth house is the opposition party, right? Who are more humanitarian, and it's going to actually bring in an opposition party eventually for them. At this moment, because of Trump didn't get the Nobel Prize from the lady who is the opposition party. However, that lady wants to bring in Israel to Venezuela. So it's also like, and Bibi was talking about Venezuela as well in that 2009, that I found on Google, you know, it was a YouTube actually interview when he said, oh, Venezuela and Greenland, both of them we need because Venezuela has a lot of, and Venezuela is anti-Semite, and then another country also. And Iran and Venezuela, he said, is so anti-Semite. And I was like, really? Iran has like over 40,000 Jews and they lived in peace and everything over there. So I don't understand why it was said. But obviously, because Venezuela has a lot of minerals, guys. And
It's all about the resources. You know, what you mentioned a
horrible
video for
place.
people to look up in 2009. Another one is in 2000 and I think it's 2001 or 2002. Right after the towers fell, for some reason, the United States had to talk to Bibi about what we should do next. And he listed out a bunch of countries that had terrorists to attack. And many of those countries have been messed up since then, right? And Iran is at the bottom of that list. So That
Yeah.
should tell you in terms of America doing this guy's or that country's bidding. If you want to think of them as separate, I don't. I think of them as one and the same country, ran by the same people. I think that might be useful for people moving
Yeah.
forward, is to look at what's happening in Israel as like another, maybe as an executive branch of what's actually happening in America, you know. But yeah, Iran is one of the last countries on that list that he mentioned in 2001. So the past 25 or so years, America has been working on his list.
In 1999, Bibi had an interview where he said, "What about if the World Trade Center going to collapse and attacked by Islams? Why do you let Islams in?" Or what, that was also funny. But look at Venezuela over here. They have the ascendant actually in Scorpio and not squaring conjunct Mars, unfortunately squaring with the midheaven and squaring with the eclipse. So, that's happened right now with this takeover and remove, and don't even start, yes, Maduro is a piece of, and he is, but did America have the right to remove him? I don't think so. I don't think so. We should have involved. We should feed our veterans and shelter them and our children first before we go to attack. But whatever, yes, that's what happened. So it's going to change, but not just yet. I think the next 2 years, while the eclipse is in Leo and Aquarius, they're still going to be without maybe perhaps a government. And then after the 2 years, when the North Node and South Node going out from here, then they're going to have a new government over there. But this is going to be very, very, very difficult for Venezuela for the next 2 years,
Mm, mm,
unfortunately. So
mm,
yes, it is. And let's see a little bit Bitcoin, because right now I was reading actually Epstein and Rothschild are behind Bitcoin.
mhm,
And XRP in 2013, when they came up with that, they threatened actually the CEOs, because of that has a lot of platform and
mhm,
feeding into a lot of companies, and they
mhm,
wanted to get rid of XRP, right, Bitcoin.
mhm,
And
mhm.
right now, when I see that, and I was reading that, yes, Rothschild and Epstein is behind Bitcoin over here, I was like, wow, not hallelujah, but holy moly, that is very scary over here, since we don't know who created Bitcoin and where really. We have the chart in London, but also I wanted to tell you guys, Bitcoin has the Sun, progress Sun, and progress Jupiter in
So
Aquarius,
I'll
which
add a little bit to what you said about Bitcoin, because I researched this years ago, and I actually talked about this in the video I made about the FTX collapse when it happened. Is there was a time where Bitcoin forked off, which basically it split. The developers had different ideas about how Bitcoin should progress or move forward. That was when MIT, the university in the United States, and Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of involvement in helping Bitcoin survive or move forward. And when I was looking into that, and once I understood that piece of things, that's when I started to say, you know what? This thing is probably a Trojan horse. This is probably a tool for the government. And now here we are with Trump in the current presidency, very pro crypto presidency, after the last one was seemingly anti crypto, even though the Democrats got a lot of money through FTX and through crypto, through donations. There's a lot of theater that happens on the news, you guys, but they're all on the same side, So where this is all heading to me, and where I believe Bitcoin still has a future, is that these people are behind it. All right. So is that what you're seeing in the charts, or how does that play out to you as you look at the transits that Bitcoin is going through? Because I still view this as an asset that they are going to manipulate and pump and use to help spread the dollar, particularly because we have United States debt in the form of treasuries that China and the world doesn't really want anymore. So crypto is that solution to help spread crypto throughout the world they're going to have crypto users of stable coins be people who then buy the United States Treasury debt. Right? So that's the big game that United States is trying to play. I'm sure Epstein and Israel had a lot to do with the engineering or thinking of this long-term plan, but that's how I view things. Yeah.
Definitely, what I see over here, yes, it still has you know, a not longevity, but it's still there. But Pluto gonna go back to the progress sun when it's gonna go to retrograde. And whenever Pluto on the sun or progress sun, there could be like a major hacking, and a lot of people could get hacked in. So make sure, guys, if you have crypto, you put that actually in cold wallet. Don't keep on Robinhood, don't keep, because you can be hacked, okay? And a lot of people, even in cold wallet, could be hacked. So that could be one thing. But Saturn Neptune gonna go actually the moon of Bitcoin over here, which is the public sentiment is going to lose its trust in Bitcoin. So that could be also because of it's going to be related to Epstein and because
That
of
could
the
be
media coming out. Yeah.
it's said in part that's why the price is falling right now, right? As some people are like, "Whoa, this is not the asset I thought it was." Right? So you have some selling going on right now because of that, and I think you're right about.
Uranus, which is rules cryptocurrency, it's in fall and it is actually in retrograde. It went direct February 4th. So right now we will see a little bit of, waking up of the cryptos. But on the other hand, we also had, what else? We had the moon also squaring with the Taurus energy and that could be also one of the issue over here. But we're definitely going to bypass bank and crypto going to be one thing because Palantir and Peter Thiel still going to be a little bit strong. I want to also show actually Peter Thiel's chart as well because it says a lot because he is one of them who created Palantir and he wants surveillance on Americans and he wants
Yeah.
actually to get Google and actually censor us. Whoever talk about Israel or even if you say the name or Palestine or they're going to censor you and that's very very sad over here. But yes, if you can see also Pluto, it's in 1 degree Pluto Mars conjunction in the sixth house. Of health of the Bitcoin, it's squaring with the Moon and Neptune, Saturn over here. And Bitcoin has an ox, Chinese ox, not red guys, Chinese ox. It's January 3rd, so it's still ox. And actually, ox not going to do very well in the fire horse year. So, that could be a little bit of withdrawal. Do I see it to go away? No, but the public sentiment is going to be like, I'm not supporting something what is actually has any connection with Epstein or Epstein Island. So that could be the issue over here. Pluto also opposing, guys, the ascendant, So it could be and Vesta, which is in 0 degrees, and it's very important for financial asteroids. It's squaring with Pluto, and right now Progress Sun is here with Progress Jupiter. So there could be a lot of hacking of Bitcoin in. And because there is the threat is right now out, what Epstein and the Rothschilds did against, XRP and XLM and those smaller coins. So obviously right now people going to move forward and toward to those kind of uh, but let me tell you over here, if you really want to save your and preserve your money, guys, dollar is done. Don't throw stone on us. Unfortunately, we have a Saturn return of the dollars. Okay, Uranus return of America when Uranus Mars going to conjunct on Uranus return. It's civil war. The dollar is down. Saturn Neptune also civil war. Guys, what is happening over here? Petrodollar is done. They want to move forward to the eastern areas. China, BRIC nation coming in. The unit, it's not available yet, but it will be available really soon. And this could actually, create, and the gold, silver is going to go up. It's still going to go up, guys. Gold, silver could go up to 200 something because of we're gonna use lithium and uranium to rocket ships and nuclear powers and things like that. So we're gonna need silver. I told you, in computers, in small devices. That's why silver gonna thrive. And silver anyway have a Gemini stellium and a Cancer stellium. So when Uranus goes on the Gemini stellium, it's going to go up. And silver also has an ascendant in Leo, which is Jupiter gonna go over there. So silver gonna be great, and gold also going to be great. Buy coins, because you can pay with coins, okay? And silver is going to be very significant, but gold also. Copper as well. And I want to promote something over here. I have an amazing client who became my friend. She was the first billionaire, American billionaire lady with jewelry. And she is creating her coins, and she has a documentary coming right now in March, but she's creating a coin from Lady Liberty, okay? Because of the father and I don't know, somebody did the renovation of Lady Liberty, and they kept the bronze and everything. And right now she comes out with 4 million coin, which is the Lady Liberty coin. Use the bronze from Lady Liberty. Guess what? When we have a civil war and want our liberation in America and you know, our rights to speak as well, and freedom of speech, it's going to go up really high. And this coin going to have actually a crypto also with it. And it's gonna be $250 for the 250th birthday. So I think it's coming out in end of February, the website. I'm going to send it to you, Sama, and later on you can attach that to this video, you know, and they can buy it or whatever. You can check into it if you want to. But it's going to be one of the coin which is very strong. I checked the chart. It's gonna be extremely strong. But yes, Bitcoin is difficult, but gold and silver, uranium, lithium, guys, earth mineral, energy grid, nuclear, and also, unfortunately, gun, that's also gonna go up. Even if we're gonna have tremendous market manipulation right now. Saturn Neptune is market manipulation. But still, you know. Okay, we talked a lot, and we have a lot of things over here, but you know, let's talk the 12 signs perhaps.
Sure, yeah, let's talk about the eclipses, you know.
Yes, in the
Yeah, for
12
sure.
sign.
Let's do
Because
that.
of I am getting tired right now, and
I bet. Yeah, I
we
bet.
talked so much.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it it's weird to explain if you haven't experienced it, but looking through the charts the way that Christina is, like, it can after a while, like, it's pretty mentally draining. So we definitely appreciate you and what you're doing right now, for sure. Because to
Thank
dive
you.
into the 12 signs for each zodiac after a particularly heavy topic too, you know, it's again, we appreciate what you're doing, for sure. And part while she's pulling that up too, a lot of the logic behind the move behind the metals too is the jig is up, right? Saturn conjoined Neptune is exposing things, and there's only so much you can do with paper assets, particularly if, I mean, should I put it up again? Let me go ahead and share it. I mean, but I won't put it up again. But you saw it, right? This is how certain people make money, right? It's the financialization of the economy. Well, it comes to a point where real things matter. Those who live in the real world will eventually catch up with you. And that is part what we're seeing with this West versus East divide and with the precious metals, is that these are real things under the ground. And you're going to see places like America get more feisty and grabby about actually getting a hold on these things, because the manipulated numbers on the screen, they don't really mean as much as we get closer and closer to actual war-related conflicts and economies falling apart and people not paying on their debts. People will come to collect. And if all you have is fake printed dollars, that's not good enough. We want gold, we want silver, we want things that are actually required for this reshoring that everyone's talking about, for this ending of globalization to this building of new weapons, this rebuilding of industry, America first, this, that, or whatever. All these countries now, really since 2022, when the Pluto return happened in America, and America said, hey, Russia, all this money you have, that's in United States treasuries, we're stealing that. You don't get that anymore. And so all these other global sovereigns said, oh, it's like that? That's how America's doing business? We might need to get off the dollar. So this move in gold started then, and there's a video on my channel talking about the BRICS nations that I recorded in 2023 because of that. These things don't just happen overnight. These aren't just random moves in the metals in gold and silver. This has been taking place for over a decade now, when Russia and China knew they had to get off the dollar. Way back before COVID and all this stuff even happened. They knew that they had to do this. And then the whole Ukraine situation really set it off into motion. So the moves we're seeing in the metals now are a long build up into something that's been happening really since over a decade and really decades plus beyond that. And I talked about this in my private newsletter too, which we go over the price of metals and things monthly. And Christina does work on that. She puts her dated predictions for the different assets in terms of how the transits are affecting the charts of the dollar, copper, gold, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We dive into a lot in the letter. But one of the things I talked about in last month's edition is how gold used to be $20 an ounce after the Great Depression or during the Great Depression, right? So if gold is nearing $6,000, what does that tell you about the dollar? Gold has been gold since gold has been gold, guys. It's a metal on the periodic table. The dollar's not on the periodic table. Whatever
Yeah.
currency of the country you live on is not on the periodic table. Gold and silver are. These are real, tangible things you can touch, right? These are not things the Federal Reserve or your central bank can print. So that's why we encourage you guys to accumulate real things so that whatever fiction is happening, although some people think that living in a fake financial world is better, and yeah, they do have a lot of money and power in that financial system that they've created. Chickens come to roost. Saturn is conjoining Neptune, and you need to have real food, real metals, real things. These are things that you're not going to have data centers or AI or win this war that they're in the middle of if you don't have these very real metals. So that's what's
Reaper.
going on. That's what's going
Very
on.
important. Also, Saturn is undeveloped land. It's land and agriculture. So, actually buying lands, it's going to be really, really important because when Saturn gonna go to Taurus, the land price going to go up again. So right now you're going to have 3 years to buy, lands. On the other hand, Saturn in Aries also, Saturn is wood and lumber, and wood itself put the forest in fire. Did you see what's happening in Argentina? Do you know who is putting the Argentinian jungle on fire because of they want to buy it for barely for some money? Okay, so check out the news, all right? And then that's gonna happen, but land is also going to be an amazing asset. And by the way, I forgot to say, Saudi Arabia already and the Emirates buys, the oil with actually yuan. They buy it through, so they don't pay with petrodollar. And this administration in the US had to let them to do it because obviously they know something. So more right now they allow 182 countries to buy it, not on petrodollar. And the other thing is because Saudi Arabia's sun is opposing Saturn Neptune. I think the Emirates and also Saudi Arabia are going to have the king die, both of them, during these 2 years. And I think some issue gonna happen with the Pope as well. I just wanted to say that because last time when it's conjuncted, not by minutes but by degree, the Pope died, and I told that also like 10 months before it's gonna happen these days. But right now, again, something gonna happen with the recent Pope as well. Okay, let's go to the 12th sign. I'm not going to share any kind of chart over here. I have my little this one.
Perfect.
And I just gonna see, which house it's going to happen, and I'm
Mhm.
going to try to actually bring in anything possible for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Aries. Obviously, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, it's happening in your first house, and it's going to be a major change there for you. But we only going to mention the eclipse, right? Because of that's a lot of talk. Or what do you want me to do?
Yeah, just mention the eclipse and anything you want to mention for the signs, you know. We've
Okay,
talked a
just
lot,
the
we've covered a
eclipse. I'm
lot,
not
but yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about then the Saturn Neptune right now. It's way too
No,
much.
no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. Just the eclipse
Okay.
focused. Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna happen in your 11th house, guys. And this is on your personal level, that's your friends and networks, your collective goals, also anything to do with detachment as well, and social justice. So you can actually accept some kind of social justice over here. A court case could turn for your favor, right? You can actually be someone who has to go to court and become that. Oh, I always forget the name. When you are going, and that's the jury. Um,
Jury duty. Yeah.
Yes, the jury duty as well. But it could bring in new friends unexpectedly. You can be invited to, to events that are actually going to help you professionally. You can build an application, a software. You can start something, collaborate with people right now. But, in finances, it could be like you are doing a crowdfund or something to do with an online monetization. It could be really good for you. Or, you can invest in digital currencies right now. It could be also like some kind of income could come from nonprofit or from a startup if you are doing that. And if you are doing marketing and you are the bridge between, companies, it could also create something with monetizing and increase your salary. You can get a promotion or perhaps some kind of bonus payout. You can get some kind of, if you have ETFs, you can get dividends out from some kind of investment over here. But definitely new groups coming in, and it could be also really good because you get validation from your peers, from your for colleagues as well. I want to actually also say something about health, Sama, over here, if you don't mind, because health-wise, it is your anchors, but also something to do with your nervous system, with dopamine issues as well. So don't overstimulate yourself. Don't start to get serotonin shots or, things like that right now, because it could also bring in some kind of tendon or neurological issues with your ankle. You can pull your ankle because of, like you overwhelmed or you running, and it could be some kind of issue. Be careful with EMFs as well, because it could also bring in some kind of neurological issue for you. But yes, you can actually start some kind of activism. It could be something political, and you will be part of humanitarian work or some kind of online revolution right now. All right, we are going to Taurus rising sun and moon, and actually it's going to happen in your 10th house, guys. And the 10th house, anything to do with, authority, career and reputation, something to do with your political parties, for example. You might going to be the one who is like, okay, I'm not convinced anymore. I voted the right way and I'm done over here. You might going to actually get retired because maybe, like you're getting money from, an inheritance, and you are like, okay, I don't have to work anymore. But it could be some kind of retirement as well. But also, it's a opportunity to become a CEO because of maybe the CEO of your company is leaving or dies, or and you can take over right now. You can be head of law enforcement right now if you would like to at this moment, or take on to some kind of corporate leadership. Also finances, it could be something to do with pension, or it could be something to do with career promotion, retirement funds as well. It is also great for long-term investment, not short-term, but long-term investment over here. And you're going to get recognized. You might going to go to red carpet and recognized and becoming actually a leader, or you can actually own a business right now, get a government contract. It's also could be a government contract over here. So definitely you're going to be very ambitious and very career driven as well. You're gonna get into a status and you're going to achieve under pressure also and succeed. And the health, anything to do with your knees, the teeth, the skin, the bones over here, it could be some kind of nerve pain, for example, bringing in. It could bring in some kind of stress related, and it's actually work related stress, and it's you are overworking, and you become a little bit rigid your back. But it could also bring in for some of you age related issues as well. All right, we are going to Gemini rising, sun and moon over here, and it's going to happen in your ninth house, guys. And ninth house, anything to do with, your belief system, law, and, justice and expansion. It is also your university degrees as well. It is religion, it is court, anything to do with foreign policy. You might going to get a contract with a foreign country, or something to do with international law. Maybe you get your citizenship, your visa, or you go abroad to teach over there. It could also bring in a scholarship for if you are going to university or college right now, or your child going to get sponsored and a scholarship. If you're publishing something right now, it's really going to be amazing. You can open a publishing company, also a PR company, but also something to do with publish a book. Or if you are trading and if you have some kind of export import business, global trade, you're going to get new contracts right now. It could also bring in, like, a second marriage, and because of the second marriage I'm going to change my religions because my husband or wife is a different religion and I'm gonna adopt to it. But you definitely have to adopt to a different culture right now, so it could be really amazing. All right, on personal level, as I said, it's higher learning and faith. So, you can go to adventures, you can go to bucket list traveling. It is almost like, your moral. Yeah, yes, it's values and morals also, in a sense, like, you're going to be more humanitarian, and you want to see the world, and you're gonna understand right now how everything is working and change your worldview because you are traveling. Your worldview is changing because of traveling, and you're gonna be a truth seeker. Maybe you're going to go on YouTube or any other channel which is coming up instead of YouTube because that is censored right now very heavily. Uh, and you're going to get monetized, some social media account. Also, health-wise, it is your hip and thighs, and also the ninth house is liver as well. So careful with, fatty liver or liver toxicity, and it could be some kind of neurological issues with your hip and with your thighs. So when you are working out, careful. Travel related issues also could be, and because of Uranus is bacteria, so careful with drinking, not pure water in a foreign country, or wash your teeth over there because it could bring in some kind of issues over there. But moral fatigue or fatigue from your religion could be also coming in. And really financially, what I said, anything to do through teaching. So you might going to get a bonus because you are the top professor, or anything to do with law firms. If you are, you can actually become an attorney right now, and certified, start to work for actually a firm, and going to be a lot of profit out from there. Or if you have any kind of religious non-profit organization, it's not going to be taxed, and you're going to have even funding perhaps for university or for your religious non-profit organization. Then we're going to go Cancer, rising sun and moon, and it's actually happening in your eighth house, Cancers. Eighth house is really powerful. It's power, death, taboos, anything to do with, prenups and taxation, the national debt of the country also, but that's your wealth, right? And it also rules the banks, crime, black market. So, maybe somebody stole your identity and it's going to come to surface right now if you hired a private detective, It could also be like you went actually to psychologist or sex therapist because your partnership didn't work and it's going to happen over there. You can definitely learn about stock market during this time and crypto as well. You might going to take courses, you might going to get into occult or astrology, or you might going to ditch your insurance actually and find something else during these times. Yeah, it could be that, but also it is transformation and crisis and intimacy, also inheritance. You can get actually some kind of inheritance unexpectedly, some kind of secret is out from maybe from family trauma over here or trauma from the past, and because of that, you're capable actually to enjoy life again or enjoy sexuality again. Definitely it could be that you can own your power again. That's very important. You can sign a good prenup. You can have, for example, you had and experience medical malpractice. The law is going to be on your side right now. So, but definitely taxation. Maybe the 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 IRS going to pay you money that you shouldn't have, and then they're not going to be able to get it back. Or maybe you're gonna have a debt relief or forgiveness for some kind of debt over here. So this is good actually. You can have a surgery and it's unexpected, but actually it's saving your life. It could be also bringing some kind of hormonal imbalance for some of you as well. And if you want to do some kind of parasite clean detoxification, definitely it would be great to start right now. Careful with sepsis or blood disorders, but because it is a solar eclipse, I would say, it will be, for example, um, seen soon, and it could actually save your life as well. So yes, it is actually, ruling the genitals, the rectum, anything to do with reproductive organs. So definitely there could be some kind of news around that or news around pregnancy, and maybe some of you gonna go in labor a little bit earlier, but everything going to turn out for the best. Maybe you were scared because you have polyp in your intestines, but it's turning out to be okay because it's a solar eclipse, but definitely you can get loans or pay it off, or some kind of security trust funds. You can become actually a power of attorney of your parents or for some kind of assets right now. So this is good. And then Leo rising sun and moon, it's actually going to happen in your seventh house. Seventh house is your mirrors, it's your partnership, anything to do with contracts, your VIP clients. It is also mediation and legal matters as well. So, it could be something to do with a marriage, like you might going to get proposed to, and marriage. You go to Las Vegas and you just married away. A court case could turn for your favor during this time. And also open enemies could get revolt for you. If you have any kind of legal battle, it is definitely going to serve you right now. It could bring in new trade agreements and a new business partner, business alliances as well. On personal level, you're going to get committed to a project or to marriage or get engaged somehow. You don't want to be codependent anymore somehow, so you don't want to, you still want to be your own person, even if you are married, and it has to be written down in agreement. You don't want to people please anymore. You are seeking for balance in your relationships. It almost like meet me halfway. I'm not gonna shrink myself during this time. Health-wise, the seventh house, anything to do with kidney and lower back and bladders as well, guys. also adrenal glands. But because it's happening in Aquarius, it could be some kind of neurological issue related that, like for example, some people are not going to have when you have to go to pee, for example, you're not going to feel it, and it could create some kind of bladder leaking or incontinentia, because that's neurological. You don't get, the impulse in the brain. But on other one, it could be also some kind of hormone related. Most likely also pancreas related over here, or adrenal glands, so insulin is involved over here. Um, yeah, so just check your hormones, and check your sugar level during this time. And during business, anything to do with, as I said, marriage assets, and lawsuit settlement, and for example, prenup going to turn out positive for you. Then we're going to have Virgo rising, Sun and Moon here, guys. And let me see, it's going to happen in your sixth house. So, sixth house is your service for others, and it is your healthcare, it is your work, your colleagues, your rental property. Actually, sixth house also your soulmate relationship as well. But, rental property, your dog, your small animals. So you might going to adopt a small animal, a cat and dog, for example. It could be also you finally get a job, and it could be something in Aquarius field. And Aquarius is like technology, or a startup, or some kind of hipster new, Gen Z kind of work, for example, or working in computers or science as well. You can work in public health system, or in army as well, because six house is army service as well. Something to do with the labor union. You might going to go actually to protest if you are in the labor union, because maybe, the employee didn't pay you. It is definitely something to do with the employment sector over here, or something to do. Also, disease outbreak is sixth house as well, so it could bring in some kind of, for example, if you are a researcher and researching some kind of disease outbreak, you might going to get very busy during this time. Yes, and anything to do with your daily routine, your productivity, it's going to change. You're going to invest in smart devices. Guys, I just bought the Plod AI, because I record a lot and I write a lot, and I want to transcribe, so I rather to record because my brain is very fast. So you might going to invest in some kind of smart devices, new computer, new phone, anything to do with AIs, anything to do with video editing, which is going to help your productivity during this time, right? But definitely your duty going to be also due to, or based on humanitarian, project, for example. Yes, and then also what you have, your digestion. Careful with your digestion a little bit over here, because then it could affect your gut health, and something to do with chronic illness and diet. But because it's a solar eclipse, you might going to find the right diet right now, and the right, doctors or integrative medicine, which is going to help with your food allergies, food sensitivities. So, it could also bring in autoimmune condition, but also some kind of opportunity to heal the autoimmune condition. Yes, so definitely a gig, mm, some kind of your job is changing over here, and it's going to become better. Okay, and then we're going to have Libra rising, Sun and Moon, and it's happening in your fifth house, which is creativity, joy, children, risk taking, right? And it is something to do with the entertainment industry, celebrities, fashion. So you might going to actually, become a fashion designer, or you can be expected in a sport league, or you might going to gamble and win a lot of money. Careful, it is actually a solar eclipse, but anyway, if it's squaring with one of your planet, which is, risk-taking, Mars, Pluto, or whatever, it could be like, yes, you won at the beginning, but then you're going to win because you couldn't get out in time. On the other hand, children's, it could be an unexpected pregnancy. Fertility rates are great during this time. Maybe your child going to get expected in a good school or in a sport league, or going to become someone in the entertainment industry. You can have a romantic affair right now during this time because, it's unexpected, it's flirting, but also it is competition and risk taking. So I rather you to be careful a little bit over here. If you are someone who is in theater, and it could be great for self promotion and creative project, definitely, and enjoying something with your children, hobbies right now. Fifth house also rules your heart and your spine and solar plexus. There could be some kind of heart palpitation coming in, maybe because of your libido, or your cycles are crazy right now and it's up to the roof at this moment. But definitely reproductive health over here, it's going to be better at this moment. But yeah, heart palpitation definitely. But maybe you fall in love or in first sign, and that's why your heart is, going like crazy. Speculative investments could be great, and trading during this time. And some of you going to win the lottery perhaps, or win something that you didn't have to work for. Scorpio rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen actually in your fourth house. And fourth house, anything to do with roots and family and your foundation, your home. You might going to buy a home. You can have actually an older person, maybe even a mother figure, because solar eclipses, new moon on steroids move in with you because they need some help. So but it could also bring in actually inheritance, right, through a mother figure, not necessarily a mother. It could be a living trust giving it to you. It could be like if you want to buy an undeveloped land, or anything to do with a home itself, real estate. It could become good for you. If you are in public housing, you can also get through in public housing if you are a single mother and you have some hardship, because a lot of people does right now. It's also homeland security as well, so you might going to actually get some kind of justice if you've been, wrongfully treated by Homeland Security during this time. It's also the opposition party, so it could actually bring a change in you, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to vote for the party I voted for right now. I'm going with an opposition party. It's definitely a historical momentum for you over here, but it's changing your family dynamic for the better as well. Some of you might going to find the biological parents, or doing the ancestry, and you find out, you are related to someone who is very famous, or your father is not really your biological father. Yes, definitely could bring in kind of new traditions as well. And you can create also some kind of smart homes, or put more surveillance around your house, because Aquarius is surveillance, so you might want to be sure, everything is protected around your house. But yeah, generational wealth and real estate inheritance, you can, take over a family business, for example. It could bring in some kind of savings as well, domestic savings. You're going to talk to your significant others, and you're going to say, like, you know what, we need to put some money aside right now. If you are working in food industry also, because of that could be as well, or open a business in food industry, for example, could be really good for you as well. All right, guys, so we're going to go to Sagittarius, rising, sun and moon. This is me and Sama over here, and we're going to have that in our third house. Third house, anything to do with our language, with our mobility, that's our car, media, the mind, the way we communicate, the way we transport. So it could bring in a new electric car, for example, for some of you guys. It could also bring in some kind of amazing opportunity to collaborate with people, especially if you're doing journalism, or you're doing YouTubing, or, networking out. it could be also some kind of, some kind of new workshop, or actually creating a workshop and selling it for profit. So it could be really great as well. But you can be actually promoted by some podcaster as well during this time. Definitely the communication style, the way we are communicating going to change, and Pluto is over here and it's anyway kicking us to change, it's a rebirth anyway. But, capable to do multitasking, capable to do like, okay, we're going to write and like publish books, for example. Um, Careful with information overload and to watch the news, because you can become overwhelmed and it could bring in anxiety for you guys. Actually, the third house, anything to do with your arms and lungs. Careful with frozen shoulder or carpal tunnel, because of you are always on the computer, right? Because of Uranus's bacteria, and the third house could be something with respiratory and lungs, it could be like, all right, careful with pneumonia and asthma, because it could bring up some kind of bronchitis or some kind of asthmatic issues as well. And on the other hand, because Uranus is like really, Aquarius ruled by Uranus and Saturn, but Uranus is pretty crazy over here and it's in full in Taurus during this eclipse, it could bring in some kind of attention deficiency, because it's too much information and you are overloaded. And, like some children or people going to have ADHD or ADD. But the good news, if you have respiratory illness, if you have carpal tunnel, if you have frozen shoulder and ADHD, this eclipse also going to bring in the healing as well. If you're a freelancer, like in writing, you can actually monetize your writing, or if you have marketing jobs as well, or selling cars, you can monetize that very well right now. Or if you are a content creator, maybe you are doing some kind of content creation with AI, and it's good for short-term trade and as well, guys, for Sagittarius. All right, Capricorn rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in your second house. And second house, anything to do with, with possessions and worth and values and survivor skills, for example. So it is something to do with your self-worth and your security needs, materialism. So you might going to invest in cryptocurrency, or at least learn how to actually do and invest in digital currencies over here. Or uranium, lithium, for example, would be technology, e-education, holographic images, that's all electric vehicle, it's all in the second house over here. But your value system is changing right now, and you're going to need a lot of personal boundaries, because Uranus is the crazy and the unique, but Saturn also claiming boundaries. And for example, if you were hoarding right now, you can put that on marketplace and let go of a lot of things, minimize, your living situation. Uh, you know, um, your comfort zone is changing also a little bit right now. Yeah, so you're not going to get attached with materials anymore as you've been before. You can let go during this time. It could be also like trading goods, for example, or anything to do with creating an Etsy store, or some kind of store for AI arts, could be also really good for you during this time. It is rules your jaw, your neck and throat, thyroid and vocal cords as well. You might going to start to sing, because of Aquarius is also energy and megahertzes, right? So it could be actually bringing some kind of amazing opportunity with a side gig job over here, where you're going to play the piano, or healing with those crystal balls, with uh, with sound healing, for example. Yes, so it could be that, or singing as well. However, it could be some kind of jaw tension or some kind of neurological issue. Maybe you need an implant. Or second house also originally ruled by Taurus, which is Venus ruled, so it could also be blood sugar issues over here. So it could be because Uranus is unexpected, so either falling down the blood sugar or spiking up kind of things as well. Careful with food. Maybe you have some kind of magnesium, decreased magnesium in the body, and you can get dizzy. For example, it could be some kind of, dizziness as well, vertigo as well. Yes, so definitely your earning income and your salary is changing and your tangible assets, and it's going to bring in actually some kind of amazing opportunity in your personal resources. And also your buying habits are changing as well. Okay, so Aquarius rising sun and moon is going to happen in your first house, which is your self-identity, anything to do with your with the beginnings, the way you represent yourself, your vitality, and that is something to do with your self-image, with your persona, your aura, and it's changing, guys, rapidly. You're going to become authentic, and you're going to become very courageous, and your willpower is going to be stronger than ever. You are going to seek for independence, and definitely it could be some kind of headstrong tendencies during this time, right? And you are very, very driven during this time. You have that survival instinct which is growing and self-focused, and you motivated during this time. So this is going to help you to strike right now, to riot, to start a new business. Maybe you're going to go and become someone in the, well, creating a crowdfund, creating a new business for yourself. Maybe an enterprise, or maybe, to become a freelancer, anything to do with your own entrepreneur. You're going to have your own business, or you're just going to self-branding right now yourself, but your risk tolerance is really high right now. So you have to become a little bit with have to be, be stopping the impulsive spending as well. And you might going to come out from the closet, because Aquarius rules the gay people as well. And yes, it could bring that as well. But definitely you can be in protest and civil unrest, and it is going to give you a lot of maybe a non-profit. You are opening up a non-profit, or maybe you're creating a software or application, or you also going to study astrology, or AI, and yes, things like that. All right, and then we're going to have Pisces rising sun and moon, the last one, and it's going to happen in your 12th house. Pisces 12th house, anything to do with mysticism, isolation, ending, surrender. It is also art, as you know, and your dreams, karma and solitude. Also, escapism as well, and addiction, right? Because it's illusional. It's also, betrayal and guilt. But right now, you're going to understand, who betrayed you, what's happened in your childhood, why are you depressed, why are you having mental illness or drinking problem or sleep disorders, and why do you use substance, and actually you can get rid of it during this time. So it's really, really good. And also autoimmune disorder or Lyme disorder rules this house, anything to do with Epstein-Barr or Lyme, and autoimmune also could be here hidden. Right now you find out, and you can go and actually heal yourself. You can actually get a job in a hospital, or you can get a job in a hospice, or maybe you're going to be a prison guard, or in orphanages. So during this time, actually you can actually adopt an orphan as well, if you would like to. That is very humanitarian. Or do some kind of non-profit for underprivileged, for veterans. 12 house rules the veterans. Maybe you are a veteran, and you get some kind of, you were a homeless, and right now you just got some kind of shelter, right? It throws your lymphatic system and your feet as well, but lymphatic system has to be drained. Um, and it could bring in some kind of immune disorder as well. So, you might want to make your immune system stronger. Definitely look into that. I'm not going to say right now supplements over here, but just look into it. And yeah, so what else could be? You can get a secret fund. Somebody wants to founding your business, but they're not going to reveal who are they. It's an anonymous donation, something like that. So you can get some kind of money from spiritual income or some kind of, charitable giving. Maybe you needed a GoFundMe, and you are capable to have that. And maybe there was something with your health, and somebody does a GoFundMe for you, so you can go to the hospital. It could be also you open an offshore account, for example. And if you had any kind of stolen money or losses, it could be fined right now. Something with your attic, something with your roof. Maybe you get an insurance because you leaked in, and the insurance company gonna pay for that. Yes, so definitely mental health institution, prison, hospital, you can become an employee over there, or even, like the leader of a secret society. Your hidden enemy is going to be revealed, which is really great. And hidden surveillance, you might going to experience some kind of justice coming in because there was a hidden surveillance while you were traveling in a hotel or Airbnb or something like that, and right now you are capable to go to court and to have that under balance. All right, guys. So that's it, Sama. I think what I wanted to say. I don't know if you have any other things to share here, but I think I talked a lot.
No, that was fantastic. I think that was a very thorough breakdown of how the eclipses are going to affect the 12 signs. We talked about Saturn and Neptune today and how that does provide some optimism, although some of the topics we discussed today obviously are very heavy. And again, the key takeaway though, you guys, is really what can you do with this to serve you and your purpose here? You incarnated in this life to experience these transits, these once in a never recorded in history ingresses into Aries. What are you here to make of it? It's a fire horse year, like Christina mentioned, and she just went through things for everybody's sign that we can all take away and apply for ourselves. So with that, and again with the message of accumulating real things that you can have to support you, to give down to your children if you have that, or to help support, take care of your family if you have retirement plans, that's very important too. And to not, honestly, to be blunt, not to be suckers of this game that's being played. That's why we dive into the symbolism. That's why we talk about things that other people they simply won't talk about because maybe
You
their
get
consciousness isn't
censored.
just ready. Yeah, they got censored or whatever the case may be. But you're here, you made it this far with us. Use this information to benefit you, not to live in fear, and don't let it just be entertainment that just bleeds out of your ears that you don't remember, right? Use the stuff that she dove through for each of the 12 signs. Use the things that we talked about in terms of where your country, or if you live in the US, where things might be headed for you, and make serious plans so that you have the journey you're meant to have while you're here, and that it's a good one, right? It's all for you and it's all love at the end of the day. So be well. One love to you guys. Take care of yourselves. Scary world out there. Be safe. Peace.
Be safe. Thank you.